Hello everybody, hope you're all having a great Monday. Hope it's a nice day where you're at. It's Monday, April 23rd, 2007. It's been another gloomy day here, but I like gloomy days. Great coffee drinking weather. Smoke a good nice cigar, enjoy the weather outside. Well, let's see, I took my laptop in to have them either fix it or give me my money back. Needed to have the battery replaced. And it was supposed to have a 40 gig hard drive. It only has a 20 gig hard drive. And it's supposed to have a gig of memory, and it only has 512 megabytes of memory. So that, and it keeps... Sometimes it comes on and sometimes it won't. So they have it now and are fixing that, all those problems. And hoping to get it back soon so I can reload everything that I had on there. And took out the trash, spent some time working on Photoshop, and watched the news for a while when I had the black cat sleeping on my lap. He just loves that. So much to do, and viewed that video I captured last Sunday night, I think it was. Weird things indeed. A couple of items on there, but I'm not sure if it was cigar smoke or not. But the funny thing is, while I'm talking, it doesn't sound like I have a cigar in my mouth, but there's a couple of little anomalies I gotta look into. And speaking of weird things, today is Spooky Tales Monday. And today's Spooky Tales was collected from the book Haunted Heartland by Beth Scott and Michael Norman, copyrighted 1985. And this tale is called The Legend of Stiffy Green. Have you ever heard a dog bark in the graveyard at night? Nothing so unusual about that, unless you're in the Terre Haute, Indiana, near the gates of densely wooded Highland Lawn Cemetery. There is an ominous sign at the entrance. No one, it warns, is permitted in the cemetery after dark. The caretakers had good reason to mount that sign. Highland Lawn is the final resting place of John G. Heinel and his little bulldog, so faithful to his master that even now he stands watch in his family mausoleum. The story begins nearly 7 decades ago. John Heinel loved his dog, Stiffy Green. The kindly gentleman and his bulldog trotted obediently at his heels, were inseparable companions on the streets of Terre Haute. Stiffy returned his master's affection in countless ways. He rarely let Mr. Heinel out of his sight. In 1920, John Heinel died. Stiffy Green was inconsolable. He refused to leave his master's side even at the funeral and burial sites. Whenever someone tried to pull Stiffy away, the little dog snapped and snarled. Mr. Heinel's remains were sealed in the family mausoleum at Highland Lawn Cemetery. Stiffy positioned himself outside the bronze mausoleum doors, his bright green eyes set in a pugnant continuance, daring anyone to interrupt his master's sleep. There he stood vigil day and night, through rain and heat. He didn't eat nor did he leave his guard post except on those few occasions when family members of the Heinel family took him home. Stiffy always found his way back to Highland Lawn Cemetery. And that's where Stiffy Green died, his body beside a pillar at the entrance of the mausoleum. Mrs. Heinel could not bear the thought of separating Stiffy from her husband. She asked asked a taxidermist to preserve Stiffy's body. Mrs. Heinl then placed the dog on the floor inside the mausoleum near the man he so faithfully followed. Today, Stiffy Green still guards John Heinl. On sunny days, you can peer through the filigreed bronze grillwork of the doors into the musty dark interior and see the perfectly preserved body of Stuffy. It is disconcerting to see a dog inside such a place. At any moment you expect a tail to wag or his head to tilt slightly, as if to ask what the visitor wants in this place. A legend persists in Terre Haute that the specters of Stiffy Green and his master still take to their daily strolls together. Barking and whining often drift across the night from the vicinity of the Heinl mausoleum. A voice, some say, is that of John Heinl, is heard hushing his little companion. People claim they have seen the mausoleum doors standing open while the figures of a man and a dog walk nearby. No, a barking dog in a graveyard is not unusual, unless you are at the Highland Lawn Cemetery in Terre Haute. Then it may be a ghostly bulldog barking in a shadow while following his master on one of their nightly walks. And I've actually seen Stiffy the dog. Not the ghost, but I've looked into the mausoleum. It's one of the few attractions they have at Terre Haute. But that was a long time ago. Well, that is all for this Monday. I hope you enjoyed Spooky Tales. And I hope you all have a spooky night.